Ford and Toyota are getting rid of dealerships. It'll not only change the way we all buy cars, it'll change the whole global economy in a big way. This is huge news. These companies are going to either make it or break it with this move. And the dealerships, they can lose everything. But don't just take my word for it. Let me explain. What exactly is happening? Ford and Toyota are ditching the middleman and selling cars directly to customers. That's right, no more dealerships. This is a bold move for sure, but what does this mean for you? Well, ever dreamt of ditching the whole dealership drama? If this goes well, you can design your perfect car from the comfort of your couch, picking out all the features that make your heart sing, from a sunroof to heated seats, with just a few clicks on your smartphone or laptop. No more spending weekends at dealerships trying to decipher cryptic car jargon. So is this the end of dealerships as we know them? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, they're not going to give up without a fight. Look, there's more to this switcheroo than meets the eye, and you don't have to go too far to understand what I mean. Let me tell you what happened the last time Toyota did something like this. The last failed attempt. Back in April 2020, Toyota decided to throw its hat into the digital ring with this new fancy platform called SmartPath. They are promising a totally smooth ride, from clicking add to cart to cruising in your new whip. It sounds dreamy, right? Well, that was all it was, a dream. SmartPath is basically Toyota's attempt to blend the best of both worlds, the comfort of online shopping and the thrill of picking out your new ride in person. You can build your dream car, save it for later, and even skip the dealership drama if you're feeling lazy. But while SmartPath is all shiny and new, it's still got some serious baggage. We're talking about the age-old problem of dealer markups. You know, the sneaky price hikes that pop up out of nowhere? Yeah, that was still a thing. It's like Toyota's trying to build a castle on quicksand. So a lot of people started asking, is Toyota actually trying to change the game, or are they just playing us for fools? It's hard to say. On one hand, they're giving us some cool digital tools, but on the other hand, they're still stuck in the old ways of doing business. It's like they're 1 foot in the future and 1 foot in the past. So SmartPath didn't exactly win any popularity contests, but turns out there was more to this story than met the eye. While we're all busy blaming Toyota for messing up, it looks like the dealerships are actually the ones throwing a wrench in the works. You see, those dealerships, they're all about the Benjamins, and let's be honest, who isn't? And although they made money off the price of the car, their real cash cow was all that extra stuff – finance, insurance, warranties, the whole 9 yards. When people started buying cars online, these dealerships were not happy. So instead of playing ball with Toyota and this SmartPath, they kinda just didn't, because their incentives to sell were not met. So although the SmartPath is a step in the right direction, it's definitely not the finish line. We need more transparency, more fair pricing, and less hustle. But what about the new model? A new beginning. First off, they're ditching those crazy, unpredictable car prices. Say goodbye to haggling and hello to fixed pricing. It's like shopping at a regular store, but way cooler because you're getting a car, not socks. And guess what? Those dealerships are getting a makeover too. Forget stuffy showrooms and pushy salespeople. They're turning into chill hangout spots where you can grab a coffee and check out the latest rides without feeling pressured. But that's just the start. Ford CEO Jim Farley is on a mission to make car buying as easy as ordering pizza. We're talking about online shopping, home delivery, and the whole shebang. It's like they're taking a page out of Tesla's playbook, adding their own Ford flavor. So not only is Ford making things easier for us, but they're also shaking up the whole dealership scene. It's like watching a slow-motion car crash, but in a good way. Dealerships are going to have to step up their game or get left in the dust. So what can they do? Well, let me introduce you to the agency model. Basically, instead of dealerships calling all the shots on pricing and stocking up on cars like crazy, the car companies take the wheel. They set the prices, manage the inventory, and literally run the show. Dealerships, on the other hand, get to focus on what they're really good at, making customers happy. Think of it as trading in the stress of haggling for the satisfaction of building relationships. It's like handing over the keys to the car kingdom to the car makers themselves, while dealerships become the friendly neighborhood helpers. Now, this could be a game changer. Dealerships can ditch the headaches of inventory management and price wars and instead pour their energy into giving customers the royal treatment. We're talking top-notch service, personalized attention, and upgrading from a used car salesman to a trusted automotive advisor. And when you're treated like gold, you're way more likely to stick around. It's like that amazing coffee shop you keep going back to because the baristas know your order. Dealerships that nailed this after-sales service thing are going to have customers lining up around the block. It's a win-win, they get happy customers and we get happy cars. But they're not doing that. And you know how they say bigger is better? Well, the car dealership world is putting that to the test. We're seeing a crazy trend where these giant dealership groups are gobbling up smaller ones like Pac-Man. It's like the automotive industry's version of a corporate takeover. So what's the deal with all this consolidation? Well, these mega dealerships claim that they can offer the best prices, more cars to choose from, and even fancier service. It's like they're promising a one-stop shop for all your car needs. We'll have to wait and see if these supersized dealerships can actually deliver on their promises. Will they be able to keep that small-town feel while handling a million cars at once? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, these dealerships are getting big. Why am I telling you this? Well, there's something called franchise laws. Let me break it down for you. The fight of giants. If you're a dealership, you can think of franchise laws as a legal force field. In most states, it's like a law that says no skipping the line for car manufacturers. They've got to sell those shiny new rides through dealerships like yours, not zoom past you with their own DTC websites. This keeps the playing field level and stops manufacturers from cutting you out of the picture. Plus, states like Connecticut and Louisiana have laws which are strict. They straight up ban DTC sales, which is a major win for dealerships. But franchise laws also act like a shield against unfair treatment. Imagine a manufacturer trying to yank your dealership license for no good reason. Not on your watch. Franchise laws typically say manufacturers need a good cause to terminate your agreement. This means you can operate with some peace of mind, knowing they can't just ditch you on a whim to try a fancy DTC scheme. They can't just use "we have new technology" as a just cause. And as tech keeps evolving and cars get all space-age with self-driving features and software updates, franchise laws are starting to adapt too. In states like West Virginia and Virginia, new laws requiring manufacturers to compensate dealerships for helping customers with these newfangled gadgets. That way, dealerships stay relevant and keep their pockets lined, even as the car world changes fast. But as a dealership owner, that is not all the power you have. Imagine your dealership's territory as your own personal racetrack. Franchise laws often give dealerships exclusive territories, which basically means manufacturers can't open up shop right next door and steal your customers. This keeps your business healthy and fosters loyalty among your customer base. By emphasizing these territorial protections, you can argue against the expansion of DTC sales that could disrupt your local market and throw a wrench in your business. So when these big dealerships buy small ones, they're expanding their territory. But franchise laws are just one tool in the toolbox. We're talking about lobbying like a boss. They can team up with other dealerships and industry associations to push for even stronger franchise laws. Imagine legislation that puts the brakes on DTC sales entirely or makes it super tough for manufacturers to bypass dealerships. But that's not all. This whole shift comes with a big maze Ford and Toyota need to navigate. Challenges. Sure, dealerships will be the ones that are directly affected, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of small towns across America have their economies humming along thanks to good old car dealerships. Now imagine those same towns facing a future where their biggest employer might vanish fast. These car companies need to tread lightly. They're betting big on direct-consumer model, and let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. You might be thinking, wow, this sounds like a massive headache, and you're not wrong. But every bump in the road, every obstacle they overcome, is going to be a valuable lesson for the entire industry. It's like they're writing the playbook for the future of car sales, and we've got front row seats to watch it unfold. But what's the bottom line? Ford and Toyota are taking a leap of faith that could revolutionize how we buy cars. It's a high-stakes game with the potential for massive rewards. Will they pull it off and leave their competitors in the dust, or will they hit a speed bump that sends them back to the drawing board? But after all of this, you might be asking yourself, why are they doing this if it means all this trouble? Well, let's dissect it. Intentions. Sure, this will make things easy for us, the buyers, but it's also about control. These auto giants have been itching to break free from the traditional dealership model for ages. Why? Because let's face it, when you've got a middleman, things can get messy. One dealership might be treating customers like royalty, while another's got them running for the hills. Talk about a brand identity crisis. By cutting out the middleman, these companies are aiming to create a consistent, knock-your-socks-off experience from start to finish. No more playing telephone with your local dealer, you're getting the straight scoop directly from the source. Now I know what you're thinking, this all sounds great, but what's in it for them? Well, my friends, it's time to follow the money trail. These manufacturers aren't just doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. Sure, the brand identity is also a big deal, but not bigger than that sweet profit margin. By controlling the entire process, they can squeeze out every last drop of efficiency and maximize their bottom line. This isn't just about selling you a car, it's about creating a lifelong relationship. From the moment you first lay eyes on that sleek new model to the day you trade it in for an even cooler one, these companies want to be right there with you every step of the way. Imagine you're browsing their website and suddenly, bam, a personalized offer pops up based on your browsing history. And at that time, you mentioned wanting a car with superhero-level acceleration in a survey. Creepy, maybe a little, but it's also kind of awesome, right? And it doesn't stop there. Once you've got your new wheels, they'll be in your pocket, figuratively speaking of course, throughout your entire ownership journey. Need an oil change? They've got you covered. Thinking about upgrading to the latest model? They'll know exactly when to tempt you with that irresistible trade-in offer. It's like having a car-savvy best friend who always knows what you need before you do. Except this friend is actually a multinational corporation. Now, I know this is a point of controversy for a lot of people, and you need to know what it means for you, so watch carefully. Big data. What does this mean? Well, you know how your favorite streaming service always seems to know exactly what show you'll love next? Imagine that, but with cars. That's right, folks, the automotive industry is going full-on tech giant mode, and they're hungry for your data. Let's say you're browsing for a new ride online, and suddenly, it's like the car company can read your mind. They know you're a sucker for leather seats. They know you've got a thing for sporty hatchbacks, and that you once mentioned wanting a car that can parallel park itself while making pancakes. Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the idea. Now I know what you're thinking. Hold up, isn't this a bit creepy? Well, you're not wrong. It's like inviting a car salesman to follow you around 24/7, taking notes on everything you do. Except this salesman is actually a bunch of algorithms in a fancy suit. But this data isn't just about selling you a car. You think online stores are the end of it all. It goes way deeper than that. This shift toward direct sales isn't just about cutting out the middleman. It's about creating a direct line to you, the customer. It's about understanding your needs, wants, and maybe even your deepest, darkest car-related desires. No judgment here if you've always dreamed of a car that can transform into a submarine. We've all been there. These companies are trying to know everything about you. Your driving habits, your maintenance schedule, even your favorite radio stations. It's all fair game. Why? Because knowledge is power, my friends. And in the cutthroat world of auto sales, power means profits. With this treasure trove of information, car companies can tailor their offerings to fit you like a glove. Now, before you start wrapping your phone in tinfoil, let's look at the bright side. All this data could lead to some pretty sweet perks. Imagine a maintenance alert before your car even starts making that weird noise. Or having your car automatically adjust its settings based on who's driving. It's like having a personal assistant, but with more horsepower. Of course, there's a fine line between helpful and invasive. And that's where things get interesting. These companies are walking a tightrope between providing a personalized experience and respecting our privacy. But here's the million-dollar question. Are we ready for this level of intimacy with our car companies? Are we willing to trade our data for a smoother, more personalized car buying experience? Or is this a step too far down the road of corporate data collection? Now, let's talk money, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. But we need to talk about this in detail, so let's. The money factor. With all this juicy data at their fingertips, Ford and Toyota are poised to take their profitability to the next level. We're talking about precision marketing that hits the bullseye every time, product development that's so on point it's almost psychic, and customer experience is so smooth you'll wonder if your car can read your mind. But that's not all. Have you heard the latest bombshell from Ford's Jim Farley? Apparently Ford's spending a whopping $2,000 extra per car just to keep that old-school dealership model alive. That's right, $2,000 more than Tesla's slick, dealer-free approach. Can you believe it? It's like they're burning stacks of cash. And 2/3 of that money is going up in smoke on ads and keeping cars lounging around on lots. I mean, are these vehicles on vacation or what? It's like Ford's running a 5-star resort for cars. But they can just get rid of all these costs, and they know it. Ford's latest electric darlings, the Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning, are selling like hotcakes without Ford breaking a sweat on advertising. They tried DTC on these cars, and turns out happy customers are better than any flashy TV commercial. But dealerships are singing a different tune. They're drowning in Mach-E's and Lightnings with more cars than buyers. This is a completely different experience from the online platforms, which just add fuel to the already burning fire. That is why Ford and Toyota are eyeing this direct-to-customer model like it's the last slice of pizza. And why wouldn't they? It's a chance to ditch all that dealership baggage and go on a cost-cutting diet. Imagine the possibilities. They could pass those savings on to us, making cars more affordable than ever. Or they could pour that cash into R&D, cooking up the next big thing in EVs and self-driving cars. Heck, they might even make their shareholders do a happy dance. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.